الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد, we'll continue a class in going over the book الفتاوى الوداعية على الأجوبة النسائية, the answers of Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wada'i rahimahullah on questions by the women, on women's questions. We completed in the previous class the chapter regarding verdicts on issues of purity and impurity. And today, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we will start with a new chapter, which is the chapter regarding the matters of the menses, pregnancy, and bleeding after birth. تقول السائلة: المرأة الحائض هل يجوز لزوجها أن يباشرها بقصد أن ينزل؟ فأنزل. A woman who is on her menses, is it permissible for her husband to touch her, even with desire, with pleasure, to the point of ejaculation? قال الشيخ رحمه الله: إذا صنع كل شيء إلا النكاح، يعني لم يجامعها. It is permissible for him to do anything except having a complete relationship with her. فلا بأس بذلك. There's no harm in that. Meaning not to have a complete relationship with her, but anything else, touching her, even with desire, is permissible. And there's no harm in it. كأن يكون قريب الفرج أو في غير ذلك. فلا بأس بذلك إن شاء الله. So even if he touches her, regardless of where, as long as he does not have a complete relationship with her, does not have intercourse with her, anything other than that is permissible, and there's no harm بإذن الله تعالى. تقول السائلة: ما حكم إجهاض الجنين قبل أن ينفخ فيه الروح? So a woman, she asked, what is the ruling regarding abortion, having an abortion, even if it is before the soul is blown in this infant, or in this child, unborn child. قال الشيخ: هذا لا يجوز. The Shaykh rahimahullah, he said this is not permissible. وهو يعتبر حملا, and this is considered pregnancy. وإن لم ينفخ فيه الروح, even if the soul was not blown in it. إلا أن يقرر الطبيب المسلم الأمين أن المرأة ستموت, unless a trustworthy doctor says and affirms that this woman will die, that the woman, the mother, will die if she was to keep this pregnancy. فالفرع أهون من الأصل ولا بأس بالإجهاض, because the branch is easier than the origin, meaning that the mother is the origin, and the child, the unborn baby, is a branch. And the matter of the branch is easier than the origin. Meaning if the doctors say and affirm, trustworthy Muslim doctors, they say if she was to keep her pregnancy, that she will certainly die, then in that case, the people of knowledge, they say it is permissible for her to abort this pregnancy. So we should point out that there is no my body, my freedom, my choice. All of these claims that we hear nowadays are false, are against the religion. A child in the womb is a child. There is pregnancy. قال الشيخ: أما لأجل أنها مدرسة أو لأجل أنها موظفة. As for the claim that she's a teacher, or she's employed, she has work, she has a job. أو لأجل أنها ما تريد التكلفة على نفسها بالرضاع والحضانة فهذا لا يجوز. And also to claim that she does not want to spend on the child or to put a burden upon herself with nursing and with taking care of the child, with raising the child, etc., then that is not allowed. يقول الله تبارك وتعالى: ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق, and do not kill your children out of poverty. نعم. ثم تقول السائلة: ما حكم استعمال ما حكم استعمال حبوب منع الحيض من أجل الصلاة والصيام والحج وما الحكم في صومها. So the sister asked, what is the ruling regarding using taking medication that prevents pregnancy for the purpose of being able to pray and fast and also performing hajj. So to use those pills or things that prevent pregnancy because they pause the menses. So the Shaykh رحمه الله يقول الشيخ قال الإجابة الأولى أن تترك المرأة أو أن تترك المرأة على طبيعتها التي خلقها الله سبحانه وتعالى عليها. It is better that the woman is left with that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created her upon. والله أعلمه بمصالح عباده. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more knowledgeable and more knowing, and He is the all-knowing of that which is beneficial to His servants. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لعائشة افعلي ما يفعل الحاج غير ألا تطوفي أو ألا تطوفي بالبيت. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said to Aisha رضي الله عنها, do everything that one who is performing Hajj does, except that you should not go around the house, around the Kaaba. والله سبحانه وتعالى قادر أن يلهم نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم علاجا يمنع الحيض. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, is able to inform his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam of something that prevents the menses or pauses the menses and the menstrual cycle. ويقول أيضا في صفية عقرى حلقة أحابستنا هي وقد كان يخاف أن تحبسهم عن الرجوع إلى المدينة إلى أن تطهر. And he also said regarding Safiya radiallahu anha, is she going to prevent us from returning back to Medina? Meaning that they have to wait until she finishes her menses. فقيل يا رسول الله إنها قد طافت قال إذا فانفروا. He was informed that she already went around the house. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, then let's move, let's return. نعم. فتبقى المرأة في الصلاة وفي الحج وفي الصيام وفي غير هذا على عادتها التي خلقها الله. So the woman should remain upon the natural way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created her in regards to her prayer, her hajj, and also her fasting. وربما أنها تتضرر فالحيض ينفس عنها. Also she might be harmed because the menses actually is beneficial for the women. ربما بعض النسوة يحتبس معها الحيض فيحدث لها اضطرابات وضيق. Some women end up not either they become menopausal or that they because of certain reasons that they don't have their menses, and it causes them a lot of problems from mood swings and other than this, and also it causes them they become stressed, and other than that فهو يعتبر نعمة من الله سبحانه وتعالى. So it is a bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, however, the people of knowledge, they say that if the woman, especially during Hajj, if she worries, especially nowadays, the people have flights and specific flight schedule, and other than that, if she's worried that it's going to cause her issues as far as her travel and her plans for Hajj and for return, and other than that, because people go with groups and they have specific reservations and so on and so forth, if it is going to cause her a huge burden, that it is okay for her to take medication to prevent her menses while performing Hajj or Umrah. This is what many of the people of knowledge, they say, and Allah knows best. This is the stronger opinion regarding this matter. Whereas for Ramadan, this is not the case. Rather, she should stay on the natural way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created her upon. If she has her menses, she breaks her fasting and she makes up those days. And alhamdulillah, the matter of the fasting of Ramadan is easy because she has the entire year to make up those days. Now, ثم تقول السائلة هل يجوز للحائض مس المصحف? Is it permissible for the woman who is on her menses to touch the mushaf? قال الشيخ رحمه الله قال لا أعلم مانعا من هذا. The the Shaykh rahimahullah said, I don't know of any preventer from that, anything that prevents that. وحديث لا يمس القرآن إلا طاهر مرسل من حديث محمد بن عمرو بن حزام عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الناس يرسلونه والحاكم في كتاب الزكاة ذكره لأن له تعلقا بالزكاة ذكره متصلا فأنكر وقالوا أن الحديث من طريق سليمان بن أرقم وهو ضعيف وقد وهم بعض الرواة بعضهم يقول الحكم بن موسى القنطري وبعضهم يقول غيره وهم وقال سليمان بن داود الخولاني وسليمان بن داود الخولاني أحسن حالا من سليمان بن أرقم فالصحيح أن الحديث ضعيف وجاء من غير هذا الطريق في معجم الطبراني الصغير أيضا لا يرتقي إلى الحجية مع هذا. So anyways, the Shaykh rahimahullah spoke regarding the hadith that no one who is not upon purity is allowed to touch the mushaf or is allowed to touch the Quran, and he said that this hadith is weak. Of course, this is a matter of difference of opinion between the people of knowledge. على كل حال قال الشيخ رحمه الله قال أيضا لا يرتقي إلى الحجية مع هذا فلا أعلم مانعا من هذا أنه يجوز لها أن تمس المصحف فالنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لعائشة افعلي ما يفعل الحاج غير ألا تطوفي بالبيت والحاج يمس المصحف ويقرأ قرآنا. So the Shaykh rahimahullah, he said that this hadith is weak and cannot be used as an evidence. It cannot be used as an evidence. And therefore, he said there is no harm. There is no harm that a woman on her menses is allowed to touch the mushaf. And he said the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Aisha radiyallahu anha, do everything that the person who is performing Hajj does, except that you do not go around the house. And he said, Shaykh rahimahullah, he said the person who is performing Hajj touches the mushaf. Now, so anyways, this is a matter of difference of opinion between the people of knowledge, as you heard some of the people of knowledge from the likes of Shaykh Muqbil rahimahullah and other than him, they consider that it is permissible for the woman who is on her menses to touch the mushaf. Others, they say she is not. And of course, the safer opinion is that a woman who is on her menses should not touch the mushaf. This is a safer opinion. She's allowed to recite the Quran, but she's not allowed to touch the mushaf. Now, and a person who is in the major state of impurity, a person who is in the state of janaba, major state of impurity, is not allowed to recite the Quran or to touch the mushaf. A person who is in the minor state of impurity, meaning that he does not have wudu, the stronger opinion is that he is not allowed to touch the mushaf, but he is allowed to recite the Quran from either from his memorization or from a book of tafsir, for example, other than that. Now, and a woman who is on her menses, the strongest opinion regarding this matter is that she is allowed to recite the Quran, but she should not touch the mushaf. And as for reciting the Quran from, say, from a mobile phone, using one of those apps, or on a computer, or other than that, from the different electronic devices, that is allowed. One who is in the major state of impurity or minor state of impurity, or a woman who is on her menses, they are all allowed to touch those electronic devices, even if they have the Quran app on them. طيب. However, as we said, a person who is in the major state of impurity should not recite the Quran. But when it comes to the adhkar, if a person is reciting adhkar, and as part of those adhkar, there's the recitation of an ayah or more, the people of knowledge, they say that is allowed. It is allowed for him to recite them because he is making adhkar. Such as, for example, making dua. A person is supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, رَبَّنَا أَتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ, for example. And this is an ayah, but it is a supplication. So the person uses this to supplicate and says this to supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or other than that, such as, for example, the person is making adhkar of the day or the night and he recites Ayatul Kursi. A stronger opinion is that that is allowed, that is permissible, even if the person is in the major state of impurity. If the person is not in the major state of impurity, but rather does not have wudu, or the woman on her menses, the stronger opinion is that they are also allowed to recite the Quran. in general, they are allowed to recite the Quran, but without touching the Mus'haf. Wallahu alam, this is the strongest opinion regarding this matter. Inshallah, we will continue in the next class if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een.